When in 1947 the Polish government decided to leave Auschwitz as a place so that people can remember, the idea, and it's actually written when you go in Auschwitz-Birkenau, is plus jamais ça, never again. Now, if you see what happened afterwards, it still happened nowadays. There is a genocide in Burma at the moment. I mean, so why not asking yourself the question, yes, we should remember, but maybe we should also step back a little bit and think maybe how we should remember, because this is what I faced during all this trip, is that finally the place is the proof. I think when you're a photographer, you, with humility, you try to share some of your concern, and this is why you do this job, really. It's to ask yourself questions and then to share it. So this objectivity, yes, was important for different reasons. Obviously, respect to the people who actually live it. I'm not trying to make money out of something. And objectivity also because you can very quickly be in the caricature, and didn't want to be in the caricature because it's, my legitimacy to go to these places is not as, is not more valuable than the other visitor. I mean, I don't know them, I'm not going to judge them. Now, what I'm trying to judge, I hope, is why those places exist. I think this capacity of human being to do evil and this incapacity to receive lessons from the past. This fascination for death and this cruelty which is beyond words. There is, in this exhibition, there is at some point 4 graffiti on the wall. 2 of them are taken in Auschwitz-Birkenau, near the building of Dr. Mengele. I have connection with the Second World War because both my grandparents died during this, but I have no connection with Auschwitz directly. But when you see it, you just want to cry, because you think, why do people do that? I think definitely for lots of these places, it's to experience death, but keeping your own comfort. It's to feel alive. Basically, because we need to be excited, because maybe we're bored, I don't know, there is definitely something about this excitement. At the same time, when I went to Auschwitz-Birkenau, I asked a permit to work with the tripod. So I met one of the guys there who was in charge of the press, and he said to me, you know what, when there is a group of young people coming to Auschwitz and they have the sandwich near the crematorium, yes, this shouldn't happen. When there's people laughing, and yes, but what I know is that when people leave the place, they are not the same. And I think that's also quite interesting, because the idea is not to say you shouldn't go or you should behave like that. No, it finally comes back to your own individual thinking of why you're here. Since the very beginning, I understood that it was not a new phenomenon. And I mean, you know what? We all slow down on the highway to look at the accident. I mean, this fascination is maybe part of us. I'm not better than anyone. And yes, gladiatorial combat in Rome and all this. What's interesting is when you put this in light with this contemporary world, where the media and the TV and the internet and all the phone we have makes it that you can connect with the drama in half a second. It's not fun. I mean, it's not fun, and it's not supposed to be also totally selective. I mean, all those places are so influenced by the media, by the cinema and all that finally in our popular consciousness, there is some facts that are very important and some others that are not, and some places that, will make lots of, not advertisement, but, like this prison I took picture of in Latvia. And this prison is a military prison who run quite late during the Second World War and even afterwards. And the idea for them is to say, you want to understand history, you want to understand what happened in the Soviet Union, you have to come and visit the prison. Because this place offers the fact that you can stay in the prison for one night and be treated as a prisoner. And when I was there, it was a group of Lithuanians coming there. And I talked to their teacher, because their teacher were the one bringing them here. And I asked them, why are you doing this? And they were saying, you know what? We thought it's interesting to go in the prison and to have all the teenagers in the prison, because theory is one thing, but we think that, you know, they will understand better. When you go to Rwanda nowadays and you see the genocide and you see all this skeleton, and it's terrifying. But I like to believe that people who will go to these places are not, their first motivation is not the horror show. I mean, I hope so. Or really we live in a terrible, sad world. But when Rwanda had happened, I was 22. It's yesterday for me. And when you see this and when you see what happened, you are ashamed of yourself, because tourism is also us, people with enough money to travel, going to these places. And then I go to these places and I am there to pay a tour and to see the gorilla. But back in '94, and I'm not trying to be politics here, but it seems that the French army didn't do much to help what happened. When I edited the work, I have chosen to take out a lot of pictures were for me too beautiful. It could be a good photography, a nice photography, and still talk about the subject. The important thing is how you do it, what's your protocol. And for example, for me, I work in negative with contact sheets, and when I do the print, my idea is not to change things, it's to get it better, but I'm not touching anything. I'm not a big Photoshop fan. I think when you shoot reality, there is something which is not objective. But still, you have, you know, it's a proof. The proof is my negative, and this is why I try to follow. Finally, we have no control on this, because we're talking about the industry, we're talking about the government, because there is something very politic about choosing one place or another. I mean, these places in Lebanon that I photograph, it's the Hezbollah. The Hezbollah is one of the army which is a more secret army. This is the first example of jihadist tourism. When I went there, it took me a year and a half to have the authorization. When I went there, what they were saying was, you know, with the Holocaust and all this, I mean, there are so many museums, you know, they're talking about this, and, you know, there is big, you know, propaganda, and we want to do the same. You know, we are living in a world where you have to communicate, you have to be on the social media, you have to show things, you have to do things. And you can walk in the tunnel where the Hezbollah fighters were fighting 10 years ago. This is our modern world. I mean, do you learn something there? No. When you go there, this is big time propaganda, anti-Jewish. It's actually when you enter, you can visit the tunnel, but they recovered some guns and some tanks of the Zionist enemy, and it's all put in a spider nest, you know, to show that, you know, we are taking over the. And when you talk to this person, what they're saying is that we know that if another war comes in, you know, obviously this is one of the first places the enemy will destroy, but we will rebuild.